Mrs. Phillips, Camp Kindergarten. I hope you had a great weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. The weather's getting warmer. It's so nice outside. All right, before we get started today, Flippy, Floppy, and Ted have been really hungry. So let me just make sure I give them a good feeding. Such good fish. All right, we're still learning about the octopus today, and we'll probably learn about it for just a little bit more tomorrow, and then we're moving on to our next ocean animal. And it will be our final ocean animal in our ocean animal unit. Okay, so today we're gonna look back at our octopus pictorial chart, and I'm gonna add more information now with real live pictures, okay? All right, octopus are very smart animals. They can open clamshells, move rocks, and have even been known to take lids off jars. They've also been known to develop opinions about people, squirting water at keepers they don't like. So octopus are really smart animals. And you can see in this picture, it's kind of hard to see, but here's a glass jar. This is at an aquarium. And the octopus is able to take the lid off the jar. So amazing to see. All right, so octopus are very smart. I'm just gonna put this picture over here. Ooh, I like this picture. The octopus's arms are lined with hundreds of suckers, each of which can move on its own. It lets them touch, manipulate, and even smell objects. So each one of these suckers can actually move and grip all on its own. It works independently of the others, so it can work on its own. So that's part of how or why an octopus is able to open a jar or able to grab something like a crab that's moving by. Has those suckers all over the bottom. So I'll put this over here by the suction cups or the suckers. Ooh, this is a fun picture too. The octopus has a soft body that lets them fit into incredibly small nooks and crannies. So that means that it can fit into teeny tiny places. It can fit into a place that's as small as its beak. That's its only body part that's really hard. So if the beak can't fit into a small place, then it won't go in there. But this is their beak. Remember, it's underneath. It's where their mouth is. It's underneath the octopus, right about here. So they can hide. And think about, why would they want to hide though? Why do you think they would hide in a place like that? Think about it. Ooh, octopuses are masters of camouflage and can match the colors and even textures, which allows them to hide in plain sight. So this is really amazing. Not only can they change their color, but they can change their texture. So they might look really, really smooth, or they can make themselves look really, really bumpy and rocky like rocks or sand. So they're really good at camouflaging, blending in with their surroundings. Okay, so here is an octopus hiding, and here's an octopus who likes to camouflage. So why do you think they like to do those two things? Keep thinking about it. Octopus eat crabs, shrimps, lobsters, and even sharks. They use their powerful suckers to pull their prey into their mouths. They use their powerful beak to crack the shells of their prey. So even if it's a crab with a really hard shell, or if it's a lobster and has that really hard shell, they can still pull it into their mouth, their beak, and crush it to eat it. Okay. Oops. Ooh, there are around 300 different species or types of octopus. They can be found in every ocean. Most live on the sea floor, but some like to drift near the surface or the top of the water. So most of them like to be down at the bottom, crawling along the sea floor, but some will come up to the surface to eat. So I'll put that one down here. Ooh, Octopus can propel through the water using its siphon as it pulls and pushes water out to let it jet through the water. And it jets through the water head first with its arms trailing behind. So this is the siphon on the side of its head here. And it can actually pull water in through here and push it out. And so that's going to give it that pressure to get up some speed to zoom fast through the water or propel. And then it makes itself really skinny and slender by putting its tentacles or its arms behind it so that it moves as fast as it can through the water. If its tentacles were out and it was trying to move, it would move slower. So I'll put that over here kind of near where the word siphon is. Ooh, if threatened by a predator, octopuses shoot out an inky fluid that darkens the water. This confuses the predator and helps them escape. So I think I told you in one of the last videos, they actually have 2 different types of ink that they expel at a predator. So this looks like maybe just a quick burst of ink to get away from something small, maybe like a fish or something that might be bothering it, maybe a bigger fish. But if a shark's coming after it, it can shoot out a big puddle, I guess you'd say, of ink and like a mucus. So then when the shark tries to eat it, it gets that yucky mucus in its mouth and it tastes really bad, so it'll leave it alone. So it has 2 different kinds of ink that it shoots out to help it get away from predators. So octopus have lots of adaptations that help them to survive in the ocean. Look at this little tiny guy. A female octopus can lay about 200,000 eggs. Once the octopus hatch from their eggs, they have to fend for themselves to survive. Only a handful of hatchlings will survive. So shortly after the mother octopus gives birth to her, she lays her eggs, and once the eggs hatch, she dies shortly after. So her life cycle is over as theirs begins. And they sort of drift off into the ocean and they have to stay alive. They have to fend for themselves and find a way to eat and how to stay away from predators. And not many of them actually end up surviving. And remember, a mother octopus is one of the best mothers there is. She keeps her eggs safe for more than 53 days until they hatch out, never eating during that time. This is a fun picture. Octopus have great eyesight and sense of touch. They can use their suckers to stick to rocks and other objects. They have no bones, and all organs, including its brain, are in the mantle at the top of its head. So here it is crawling on something under, it almost looks like a big pipe or something, and it's just using its suckers to stick to it and to hang on to it there. And also it has really great eyesight. Remember, its eyes are on top of its head. And the reason it can fit into small nooks and crannies and small places is because it has no bones. You and I, if we were to pinch our arm or squeeze it, we could feel the bones inside. Well, an octopus doesn't have bones. It's just made of kind of squishy type of skin. So it doesn't have to worry about fitting into really tiny places because it can. So that's why it's able to fit in like this picture with the clamshell. It's able to fit in there. All right, one last picture. Who's this guy? Octopus, even animated ones like Hank from Finding Dory, have 8 tentacles or arms. They use gills to breathe, similar to fish, but are able to survive out of the water for quite some time. So if you've seen that movie, it's so cute. You remember that Hank escapes and gets out of his tank and he's crawling all around the aquarium, and he even disguises himself or camouflages himself as a tree at one point, like a plant that's in the aquarium, and he just crawls along camouflaging himself. And actually, octopus can survive out of the water for quite some time, whereas a fish can't survive very long outside of the water. One last thing I wanted to remind you is that an octopus is oviparous. Do you remember what oviparous means? Egg laying. So an octopus is an oviparous animal. It's an egg laying animal. All right, I gave you a lot of information, so let's take a quick break. I'm so glad we took a little break and checked in on our fruit. All right, let's add some vocabulary words and some definitions to our chart about octopus. Ooh, this is the word suckers. Suckers. Remember, those are right here. Look like little suction cups. And the suction cups on the underside of the octopus arms. That's the definition. So the suckers are the little suction cups on the underside or the bottom of the octopus arms or tentacles, okay? I'm gonna hang this up right here because we have no room left on our beautiful chart. Ooh, I like this word, solitary. Solitary, which means being or living alone, not wanting or needing to be around others. So say solitary, solitary. Solitary means you like to be alone and you don't need others. And so an octopus is a solitary animal. It lives alone. It doesn't need companions. It doesn't need friends. It doesn't need any of that. So it's a solitary animal who lives alone. Ooh, here's the word predator. Predator. A predator is an animal that naturally preys on others. So you can go like this, predator. Make a shark fin, big shark fin. A predator is an animal that naturally preys on others. Okay? So an octopus can be a predator to a crab or to a lobster, but it also has predators it has to look out for, like sharks. Okay, and it's a meat eater, so it's a predator. We haven't really talked about this word much yet. It's cephalopod. Cephalopod. How many syllables? Cephalopod. Wow, 4. So a cephalopod is a type of carnivorous animal that has many arms, 3 hearts, and suckers or hooks under their arms. Wow, so it's a type of animal that's a carnivore, that has suckers or hooks under its arms, and it has 3 hearts. Amazing, 3 hearts. Do you know how many hearts humans have? Just 1 in our chest. Okay. Ooh, tentacles. Tentacles. So go like this for tentacles when I say tentacles. Tentacles are the appendages of an octopus, which are technically called arms. Okay, so the tentacles are right here. You can see it in almost every picture. They have 8 arms or 8 tentacles. Okay, so remember, tentacles. Right. We have one more. Mantle. Mantle. So you can go like this. Make a big scoop on your head. Mantle is the large head of an octopus. Now remember, the mantle is this part of the head. Here's the actual head here. And the mantle's over here, and it holds all the organs and the hearts of the octopus up here. So the mantle is very important. Okay, so mantle. All right, I hope you learned a lot about octopus. And if you need to review or go back, you can watch some of the videos I did last week to review, remember the parts of an octopus, to do some labeling, remember the facts I told you, which is true information about the octopus, and you can do some writing if you'd like. We're not going to write together about the octopus, but you can do a writing on your own. You can do a can have our writing if you'd like, or you can create an ocean story narrative. It's up to you. All right, let's check in with Trixie for Trixie's Treasure of the Day. All right, now it's time to check in with Trixie for Trixie's Treasure of the Day.
Trixie's Treasure of the Day!
Okay, let's see what the treasure of the day is today, Trixie. Let's see. Oh, it says, remember, always give it your best effort. Love Trixie. Do you know what that means? Always give it your best effort. That means always try the best that you can. In everything you do, give it your best effort and try your best. Okay, so don't forget, we're getting close to the end of kindergarten and soon you're going to be first graders. So make sure you finish strong and you keep giving your best effort and trying your best. Have a great afternoon.